When I think about what God has done in and through Ironworks Church over the past year, I worship. In March of 2017, we started having these vision gatherings where I shared just the hope and the dream of this new church that God would plant here in West Chester. And people came from Wilmington, from Kennett, and Westtown, but no one came from West Chester. And yet we believe, my family and I believe, that God does his best work when we truly love the place that he calls us to. So my family, we moved from Kennett Square up to West Chester in August of last year. And at the time, we were the only people who lived here in the borough who were seeking to follow the way of Jesus for the good of West Chester. And by God's wonderful doing and in his providence, God has brought along other people who love West Chester as well. People who have decided to move into the community. People who have bought homes because they too want to follow the way of Jesus for the good of West Chester. And these are some of their stories.
Bring me your hungry, you're thirsty, you're tired, you're poor.
So, about a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago, got accepted to an internship in the area, and I was looking for a place to live, looking for a church to go to. I'd only been here once before, and the only thing I knew about West Chester was that they had a really good gelato place. So, came in totally blind. My roommate was a random other intern who I knew basically nothing about, and had only seen her in person once. So, was coming into a pretty scary situation, and I wanted to know that at least where I went to church, I would know, okay, they believe the Bible, they believe certain things about the Bible that I agree with. When I was looking, there are a couple of different places I could go to, but I found one that was the closest to my house. That was also a church plant. I had no idea if there were even services, and it was Ironworks. I started going whenever there were evening services and trying those out, and decided that's where I wanted to land. So when church launched last year, I stuck with it, kept coming.
And I've heard that there'll be someone at that gate, and he's not in my line of sight yet, but I can hear him say.
So we bought a house just a few months back. We work for campus ministry at West Chester University called Crew.
I've been on staff for 2 years, and we've been pretty non-committal with West Chester, Pennsylvania. I think the first thing that made us decide to stay in West Chester and buy a house in West Chester was because of Ironworks. It was the first thing that made us feel planted here. The people that we know come and go, they're students, but we finally have a community that is planted in West Chester. So we wanted to plant ourselves here too and start a family here.
When we decided that we were going to live in West Chester, we wanted to go to a church in the borough, or like kind of in this town center of West Chester, so that we could hopefully either walk or make it easier to have a community, like go to church where we live.
We are really excited to be working with the Herrings on a community group as good friends of ours, and to create a place that is welcoming and open to people who have been going to church regularly, to those who might have questions about faith and about the church, and just make it a really open atmosphere for people to dig into the Word more and also to build community.
Yeah, got involved in a community group whenever they started making meals, which actually started off the year terrified to even make a meal for a potluck. They were my least favorite things because I did not want anyone to know how bad of a cook I was. And by the end of the year, I was making the entree for the community group. So I saw myself grow spiritually and grow in my knowledge of myself, but also just grow in confidence with other people. Seeing strangers turn into some of my dear friends and family, honestly. In February, my car broke down, and it took about a month to get it fixed. And people from the community group came over. They would pick me up, take me to the train station so I could get to work. And it was cool to feel not like I was being a burden on somebody, but that they honestly just wanted to help out and that they enjoyed being around me. So that was whenever I knew, okay, this is my church family. These aren't just random people. This isn't just something that I'm doing for a short period of time, but this is a long-term thing for me. And when I was considering what I wanted to do with my job, I actually decided to stay in the area. One of the reasons was because of Ironworks, because I was going to this church and because I knew these people. Even though I could have moved to a different area, gone down to Orlando, I knew I want to stay here and I want to really delve into the area and be a good neighbor to people as well, and show some of that family to the people who have been a family to me so far.